Since the 2000s, Nigeria has seen PMS, popularly called petrol, move from 65 naira to 87 naira to 97, then to 145, then to 180 naira, then it became 570, 640, 895, and now the lofty heights of 1030 naira. What just happened in the last 24 years is nothing short of amazing. However, to understand the meteoric rise in the price of arguably the most important commodity in the shores of Nigeria, thanks to the epileptic power supply, you need to understand the corruption scheme called subsidy and the big boys group called the cabal. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed, please kindly do and turn on your notifications to get updated when we release a new video. My name is Segun Ajayi, speaking for Teptv. Now, back to the video. Nigeria is an oil-producing nation, and we are also part of OPEC, a group, since cabal means something else in this video. Alright, let's focus. Now, OPEC is a group that tries to control the supply of crude oil around the world, thereby controlling its price. So they're trying to control the supply, and then you can control the price. With the booming oil market, Nigeria made lots of money. On the flip side, the government could not get any of our 4 national refineries working for decades, and thus resulted into importing fuel from outside, despite producing crude oil. The government would then subsidize the fee of the fuel, so when the fuel comes into Nigeria as an import, the government would subsidize the fuel to make it affordable for Nigerians. This arrangement of paying persons became the subsidy scheme because, of course, some persons brought the fuel into the country, and this became the subsidy scheme. At a time, the government paid individuals who brought in the commodity these subsidies before it resulted to paying NNPC, the state-owned oil company, to be the receiver of the subsidy. Now, the subsidy scheme in itself is not a bad idea, but it is definitely a dangerous idea. Why? Because money is dangerous, especially when it is in the wrong hands. The idea has 2 potential flaws. There are 2 major flaws with this idea. Number 1 is how much fuel do Nigerians actually consume? And then number 2 is how much is the true landing cost of the fuel per liter? I give you a practical example. I can come to you and tell you that yes, I actually brought in the fuel at 1000 naira, whereas in the real sense I brought the fuel at 600 naira. How do you want to know? So you end up subsidizing it for Nigerians. Say you want Nigerians to be able to pay only 200 naira for the fuel per liter. You end up paying me 800 naira as subsidy money when you would have actually just paid me 400 naira. Of course, the other situation is the case that you don't even know how much fuel Nigerians are consuming. So if I tell you that Nigerians consume 1000 liters, whereas Nigerians consume only 10 liters, you end up paying me 800 naira times 1000 liters instead of 400 naira times just 10 liters. So it's obvious that persons collected monies for petrols that Nigerians do not consume, as this fuel capacity was either inflated or exported to neighboring countries. Of course, you see Nigerian government actually subsidizing for Niger, subsidizing for Benin Republic. Now, the corruption scandal became more evident with government officials, custom officers conniving with these schemers, because there is no way in hell that amount of truck of petrol will pass through the Nigerian borders to other countries, neighboring countries, without the custom officers knowing about it, without government officials knowing about it. And you see that it brought about a lot of money laundering and corruption and the rest of that. This is partly the reason why since 2015 only the president has been named the Minister of Petroleum. Buhari for 8 years was the Minister of Petroleum, and Tinubu also followed in the same light as the Minister of Petroleum. The last Minister of Petroleum, Diziani, still has court cases with EFCC years after she had stepped down from the position as Petroleum Minister. These persons who collected these subsidies or benefited from this scheme are often referred to as the cabal. So I've successfully defined who what subsidy is and who the cabals are. Now, let's fast forward to today, and subsidy is gone. You remember that quote in 2023, May 29, from who knows? Now, hallelujah, of course, subsidy is gone. Even though it took some months, Yes, we need to identify that it took some months before what the Nigerian government said and what they did, it matched up. Because for several months, despite that they said subsidy was gone, we were still underground, under GWOC, paying some subsidies to some persons. Nevertheless, the situation is now even worse. Aliko Dangote, the richest man in Nigeria, who used almost his entire fortune, or basically equivalent of his entire fortune, to build one of the largest refineries in the world, is now in the spotlight. Initially, the crude oil was sold to him in dollars, but now it is sold in naira. Of course, there are some discussions around why it was sold in dollars, but that's like for another video. Now, NNPC has been compelled to cooperate with Dangote, so make sure you buy from him. The guy at the top has said, make sure you buy from Dangote, make sure it is sold to him in naira, not in dollars, because dollar is volatile, and the rest of dollar to naira is volatile. It's not as if dollars is volatile. Make sure you cooperate with Dangote and every other thing, and then that you should not go and buy from outside. But then we have some few questions to ask Mr. Dangote. Number one, how much is the production cost of 1 liter of petrol in Dangote refinery? Many pundits have spoken both for and against, but we want to hear from the man labeled as the national hero. How much does it take to produce 1 liter of fuel in Dangote refinery? The second question you might want to ask is, how much does the Nigerian government sell oil to Dangote refinery? Now that it is now being sold in naira and not in dollars, how much is it going to be sold to Dangote refinery? And then the number 3 question that we need to ask is, how much does Dangote sell to the marketers and NNPC? So the marketers and NNPC are supposed to go and pick from Dangote refinery. How much is it selling to them? The reason why we're asking these questions is because we want to know whether he is truly a national. Of course, we believe he's a national hero, but we want to just validate that he's a national hero, or if perhaps some information that we're getting from the marketers are untrue. Now, the truth is, we will never actually know the truth about these questions, sadly, because the whole foundation of the oil business in Nigeria since the years it started has been full of secrecy, lies, and falsehoods. Some marketers have alleged that the Dangote refinery sells petrol to them at a more expensive rate than they import. So they are telling us that importing from outside is cheaper than production locally. While Dangote also tells us, instead of Dangote to refute the claims, Dangote is telling us that his petrol is cleaner. So we don't know whether Dangote is truly selling at a more expensive rate, or the marketers are just saying what is false for their own pockets. Now, at a time when the price of fuel has increased by almost 15 times since the early 2000s, one can say that Nigerians will never have a good petroleum sector. Perhaps it is time that this nation internally, we as Nigerians, perhaps maybe it is time for us to abandon petrol and just go somewhere else, because everything just smells of corruption. I'm not talking about CNG, because if you talk about CNG, it's just a matter of years and CNG too will become like petrol. Why? Because if some set of persons are the ones that have access to the CNG, are the ones that are able to produce the CNG, or the ones that maybe are giving subsidies later on down the line for say, because every single year they keep telling you that something has increased, the price has increased, the price has increased, and the price keeps going up, and it goes faster than the rate of the increase in salary, then you discover that we will still go in the same circle of corruption. A possible suggestion maybe is for Nigerians to start looking at something around electric vehicles. So in the case where you cannot even afford to go to the filling station to get your car filled up, maybe you can use your electric vehicle in your house and use your own electric generation, whether it's solar or whatever it is, to actually charge your vehicle. And perhaps that may be the way forward for us to get out of this loop of corruption in Nigeria. Until the next release, I hope that fuel has not increased again by then. Please like this video and share your opinions in the comment section below. Well, NEPA has taken lights. Let me quickly go and get some petrol from NNPC filling station. Peace out.